In today's video, we're going to talk about what I expect from the European launch event for NIO being held in Berlin, Germany on October 7th. I'm perhaps going out on a limb here making this video about 10 days before the event. However, I don't expect there to be any bombshells dropped at the event, so I think I can be fairly confident in what I predict here. In addition to that, by the time that you watch this video, I will probably already be on a plane to Germany or already in Germany. So that's right, I am going to be at the NIO launch event. I'm just gonna be there as a guest. So of course I need to thank NIO for sending me the invitation to come. I really appreciate that. And I just wanna say that NIO has always been super duper good to me. If you've been following this channel, you would know that even before I ever bought a NIO in China, NIO sent me an invitation to NIO Day when I just asked 2 years ago. And then after I bought my NIO was nothing but good to me during that time as well. You can see videos on this channel of all the times that NIO took really great care of me. And even now, since I've sold my car, they're still treating me very well, sending me an invitation to the event in Germany. My entire experience with NIO, top to bottom, has been nothing but exceptional. They really go above and beyond for all of their users. It's not just me. It's not just because I have this fairly small YouTube channel. It's what they do for everybody. And so I'm really excited to see how they can continue that as they expand overseas outside of China. Before we really get started today, if you are a member of the NIO User Advisory Board in Germany or in Europe, I'd really like to talk to you when I'm in Europe. So if you'd like to be interviewed on this channel about your experience with that, that'd be really cool. So feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or email me. My information's all in my About Me section. So like I said, I'm going to make some predictions about the NIO launch event in Berlin. If you follow NIO as a company or NIO News, you probably already know much of what to expect. But I would anticipate there's going to be people who are in Europe who don't follow NIO, but they're interested in electric cars and they hear about the NIO event and they might be wondering what NIO is all about. So if you're that sort of person here today, this information probably will be new to you, but if you're a NIO follower, you can probably already predict much of what I'm gonna say. But still watch it. So to reiterate, I don't expect any megaton announcements or entirely new products being introduced. I fully don't expect to see William Li break a car window with a sledgehammer or any other gimmicks to generate hype. That's not the type of company NIO is. What I expect to see is NIO continue to follow their very grounded approach to their business. Step by step, NIO seems to be very confident both in their products and in their approach to growing their market. I think that the best way to understand what NIO is planning for the European launch is to both see what has been said by CEO William Li and what messaging the company has put out so far. William Li has often focused on product, service, and community, and if you look at their Road to Germany series on YouTube, you will see the exact same concepts highlighted: product, service, and community. During the Berlin event, I expect them not just to announce plans for Germany, but of course also their entire European 2022 launch. Other countries that they're planning on launching in Europe in 2022 include Sweden, Denmark, the Netherlands, and of course Norway, where they've already been selling the ES8 for a year. I expect them to reintroduce all three of their NT 2.0 platform vehicles and formally announce deliveries for ET7 and maybe ES7 beginning this year, 2022, in all of these countries. Originally, NIO announced that only the ET7 would launch in Europe this year, with ET5 scheduled to launch in Europe in 2023. This was prior to the ES7 ever being announced. And so far, I do not believe that they have commented on a timetable for ES7 release in Europe. Recently, there was a Reuters story citing a call with Qin Lihong stating that the ET5 would also launch this year in Europe. But I'm personally skeptical that this will be the case, unless they are able to really ramp up manufacturing of the car quickly. Although ET5 deliveries will begin in mainland China on September 30th, I know a handful of people who have placed orders for ET5, and none of them expect to get their cars in the first month, and probably not even the first couple of months. I believe that NIO will announce deliveries for ET5 will begin in Europe in spring 2023, and that they will announce a price during their launch event. So now let's take some guesses on price. First, we need to look at Norway as a kind of guide, as well as what William Li has said in the past with regards to Norway pricing. He said, gross margins will be roughly the same on principle. So we can assume that the price will be roughly the same in Europe as it is in China, although there are economic factors that play into it. Now we know based on some import listings that the ET7 will likely cost around 69,000 euros in Germany. NIO of course offers different configurations, including offering you the ability to buy the car with the battery or renting the battery with battery as a service. If we take a look at the 75 kilowatt hour battery NIO ET7 priced in China, the price is about equal to 66,687 euros. My understanding is that currently there is a 5,000 euro subsidy in Germany for EVs under 65,000 euro. I would guess that NIO is going to try to get under that price wherever possible. At 66,000 euros, they are awfully close. And remember, NIO prices its ES8 in Norway cheaper than they do in China. If they're not able to get under that price with the ET7 battery purchase option, then certainly they will with the battery as a service option. An ET7 with a 100 kilowatt hour battery pack in China, when paired with battery as a service, is approximately 56,400 euro. Pair that with a 5,000 euro subsidy, and you get a really attractive product at a fantastic price. If we compare that with the Tesla Model S, you are arguably getting a better product, and depending on model, it's half the cost or more. Of course, you can't strictly compare the cars apples to apples. There's also things like the charging network that can influence the price and increase the value from a customer's perspective. So we're going to talk about NIO's power up plan in just a minute. I expect that the NIO battery as a service with a 100 kilowatt hour battery pack in Europe will cost somewhere around 249 or 269 euros per month. Before we move on, let's take a look at the ES7 SUV and the ET5 sedan. Their prices in China and their equivalent in euros are on the screen now. Again, based on NIO's approach in Norway and comments from William Lee, I think that you can expect the price in Europe to be roughly the same, providing great value when compared to other EVs in the market, especially when you add battery as a service. As the ET7 should launch first, I think that they will spend the majority of their time during the presentation focused on that car, and I believe that they will offer a Pioneer package similar to what they offered in Norway for the ES8 last year. That package was exclusive to early adopters, and it included everything you see on the screen now. I do think that the ET5 will be the real killer though. They will be able to offer it at a price around 40,000 euro. This is significantly cheaper than a Model 3, for example. I expect them to begin taking orders for Europe immediately following the European launch in order to generate hype. But like I said, I don't expect them to start delivering ET5 in Europe this year, but I'd love to be wrong. While the cars themselves are exciting, I personally think that NIO will put an emphasis on their power network because as they're just starting out in Europe, they're at a significant disadvantage compared to somebody like Tesla. As an outsider, I've been a little bit disappointed that it doesn't seem that NIO will reach their 20 power swap station goal by the end of the year 2022 in Norway. China's speed doesn't quite apply outside of China, I guess. I believe that they still only have 2 power swap stations open in Norway, but I do think that NIO will focus on their power swap network as well as their network of NIO fast chargers and destination chargers during this event. In China, they have various power up plans, which are network maps showing you where you can go using NIO power. I believe that they will show something similar during this launch event, making the case that you could perhaps drive through 5 European countries using their NIO power swap network without ever needing to charge your car by traveling only using the battery swap network. Of course, NIO will also introduce their best-in-class service and warranty during this presentation. So that knocks out their products and their services. Let's talk about community. In China, the NIO user community is very unique. NIO users take part in NIO sponsored events or suggest community events through the app, and many NIO users, they attend NIO events on a weekly, if not daily basis. Every year in China, NIO Day is a huge party for NIO users to attend. Now, unfortunately, the Chinese internet is gated, so the NIO app in China doesn't allow interaction with NIO users in Norway. But while I don't know in what form or fashion the NIO user community will take shape in Europe, I do believe that NIO will have a portion of their presentation focused on building a community in Europe. I believe that their European community will not be fragmented by a country like it is currently with China and Norway. I'm sure that, for example, NIO users in Germany will be able to register to attend events in the Netherlands using NIO points, and users of the NIO app will easily be able to see what is happening with NIO users in their neighboring countries. To me, it's a very exciting prospect to see what NIO tries to do to build an authentic global community, which is one of their stated goals. In summary, I think that they'll discuss all 3 models, but they most likely will only start deliveries of ET7 initially. There will be Pioneer benefits across Europe for early adopters. Perhaps we'll see deliveries of ES7 and ET5 this year as well, but not initially. To start, only ET7s will be delivered to users. I believe the price will be extremely competitive. NIO Power will be emphasized, including the advantages of battery swap and their plan for the swap network. And finally, they'll announce how they plan to build a community of users who are living a joyful lifestyle. You know, I would totally love to be wrong about the ET5 launching and delivering in Europe this year, but I really don't think they have the capacity for it just yet. So let me know what you think. Do you think there's going to be any big surprises happening? Do you think ET5 will actually be delivered to customers in Europe this year? Do you think NIO will be able to build out an extensive battery swap network? And do you think Europeans will be as open to building a community with strangers simply based on what car they own, like happens in China? Of course, leave your comments below, and I will see you in Germany. Bye-bye.